And a very good evening to you all. Good evening, STS. How are you, mate? Good evening, LL. Hope your day was as good as mine. I say as good as mine. um, it wasn't that bad, I suppose. Hi, LL. Found me on Reddit. One of the which video was shared? Because I believe that was so long ago that somebody who was it, you STS, who shared one of my videos a while back. Yeah, that was you, STS, that shared the video a long time ago. Well, it's good to have you here, LL. No, we are not a really big we're not a really big channel yet, but maybe we will get there one day. Um, one of the things, actually, I was just looking at my analytics this afternoon, and one of the things about the live stream is that it actually makes more money, but it doesn't make the channel grow. And the channel grows via the normal save, but via the Preston save that we're doing at the moment. And that's how the channel grows. So I've got to really strike a balance, or try to strike a balance between the live streaming, which makes a little bit more cash for the cause, and the main saves that actually make the channel grow. And whilst it's been quiet on the growth front in terms of subscribers, you get this in YouTube, it's suddenly started taking off again. I think I've had about 25 or 30 in the last 3 days, and it's just suddenly starts going for no reason whatsoever, and then it'll go into another quiet phase. But at the moment, I'm thinking, oh yes, STS, that was it, when I'd made that video because I felt that I was going to need to slow down, and I'd had a silent heart attack at the time, and I felt that maybe I was going to have to slow down a little bit, and made that video to explain to you guys. And I didn't know anyone was going to share it, and things went a bit berserk from there. So that was kind of cool. And I thank you for that, STS. It was a really nice thing that you did there. Outsane, nice to meet you. How are you doing? How was your day? And welcome to this Burnley save. And we are going to be, in this Burnley save, we are slowing things down a bit. Preston, which I'm doing as my main save in the form of videos, is hectic. And when you're doing a YouTube save and you're going from episode to episode, you haven't got time to dig deep into the game, and you just have to get on with it and play the games one by one so that you can hit what you need to do for each recording stage. Excuse me. So yeah, this gives me an opportunity to slow down and look at the game, and it gives perhaps some of you guys who maybe it's really aimed at beginners or very inexperienced people who perhaps don't understand facets of the game, like the tactics. Some people really don't know how to set a tactic up. Some people stay away from training because they don't understand it. And hopefully putting all the tutorials into a save like that will help the less experienced get to grips with the game. And I mean, I've been accused on several occasions of breaking the game. I'll try not to break the game too much. And thanks for the compliment there. We do our best out saying to provide good videos. I'm enjoying doing them, and I'm glad that people out there are watching and having a good time. And I'm glad I'm not wasting people's time, really. And together we're making a difference, and that's the main thing. At least for me, anyway. So basically, we are here at Burnley, and it's been a tough pre-season because it's been really difficult to actually put a tactic together that actually suits this Burnley team. Now, you'd think that because Burnley are predicted to finish in second, in second, 5-4, second favourites behind Watford. You'd think that this would be really easy to put a tactic together, that Burnley would have a squad of great players, and that this would be a stroll in the park. Well, it hasn't proved to be. And in terms of the tactic, I mean, I was looking at it again this afternoon, and what I've decided to do, because of our poor finishing, is I think we have to play a really possession-based game. We are extremely good at passing, and we are extremely good at holding on to the ball, and we are very, very good pressing team, but we couldn't hit a barn door if it fell on us. So the only way I could think of, and I'd thought about it long and hard, was to play a very, very tight possession game. And by doing that, playing very patiently. And so what we would do is play very narrow. And the reason for that is because we want to compress the pitch, both vertically and laterally, so that our passes can find... Hi, Max. How are you doing? Our passes can find their target much easier if you compress the pitch. If you're only playing in that much of the pitch, then it's easier to pass the ball around. And so we've taken out the pass into space I had previously and now replaced that with play out of defence. I've got it on very much, of course, if we're playing a passing game, we're going to play with a shorter passing directness and a lower tempo, and that might even fall even more. We'll tweak it. Maybe in the next friendly we'll tweak it, and we'll work the ball into the box. That absolutely suits a patient style of playing it. And then we will, of course, play for set pieces, because we all know how to do that now. And we will dribble less. If we're going to pass the ball around, we don't want people dribbling. Now, I've thought about, should I be more disciplined? Because I don't want people taking risks. If we're playing a very short, simple passing game, do we want to allow people to be taking too much risks? I'm going to leave that off for now, because they are good enough to take a few risks. And that's also why I've left the DLP on support here, because he will roam around the place. He has this freedom, this license to just do what he feels like. And I do believe the defense is strong enough to be able to cope should he be absent without leave at any particular time. So especially against teams we should be beating, I'm just going to let him have a wander around wherever he wants to go. Against better opposition, then we'll put him back on a defend duty. And that will be reflected. Put him back to a support for this game. And that will be reflected in the holding on to a lead tactic that we have, because now you can see he's on a defend duty. And what we've done in that one is we've dropped back to a low block, and as opposed to in the first tactic where we are playing with a high press and a higher defensive line. So basically, I want him to be the key man, and so I don't want him to be too disciplined, and that's probably why I've left this be more disciplined off. And let's have a look at some of these. I like the analytics you do sometimes by looking at the match report. Yeah, I mean, I've always done that. And it's not the main part of what you do. It just it's what I call the icing on the cake, STS, because you set up your training, you set up your tactic in terms of who you are playing, and then when you get the match report, then you can tweak things a little bit based on that. It's just the icing on the cake, that. But it is something that people don't use very much and should use, I think, as well as the stats, which don't get used at all. And obviously there's no games played yet, so there are no stats. And in terms of the stats, what I would be looking for is crossing completion. Are they extremely good? And do I need to prepare for a barrage of crossing? And their possession stats, how good they are holding on to the ball. And the other thing that people don't make use of is this. And one of the things that you can see here is that Lincoln are going to play with a wing play style. And if people who are new don't know what that is, then just go to your tactics, add another tactic, and then just create new tactic, and then look for a wing play style, and it will show you how they play. And so you can prepare your team accordingly. And so that's very much an underused little thing that people don't actually look at. And always the first thing that I look at on a Sunday when I'm preparing for the Saturday or the Wednesday ahead is, how are they going to play? What do I need to do to actually stop them playing in the way that they want to play? I want them to play in the way that I want them to play, if you get what I'm talking about. I think I got that right. And please feel free to say how to break the game down, even if you don't choose to, though. Okay, I mean, and this is the point of this Under the Bonnet, is that you get under the bonnet and you'll get to have a look at how I set things up as we go through game by game. And I actually don't feel very optimistic about this Burnley team this season. Predicted to finish second? I don't know, because unfortunately my scouts have been sitting on their butt until I arrived, and there was nothing in the scouting centre, and there's really nothing much that I can see that I can afford in terms of finances. I've only got 4 million in the pot, and I don't have any wage budget to talk about. I've just got 14,000 in terms of wage budget. And my question to myself is, am I going to strengthen the squad with that? And the only thing I can see in this, if I can find him, there's two players that I was looking at. One of them was Ryan Yates, but again, he's a ball-winning midfielder, and I'm desperate for a DLP. And if I go to my short list of players that I've actually thought about, there really isn't much here, even on the shortlist. In fact, it's a desperately poor shortlist, and it looks pretty poor. I'm desperate for a striker and can't seem to find a striker at all. And I will need to set up shortlists as we go through the save, but just for this summer, this will do. And there is this guy, Jerry Yates, who is a pressing forward, but his price is probably just outside what I can afford. Even if I can afford to put 3.5 million down on him, is he that good that I need to bring him in? Given that we should be getting promoted, he's 25 years old. That's going to upset the board for a start. But I'm desperate for a forward, and I do want to play with a pressing forward. So I've also been thinking about Shane Lavery, who should be on my shortlist but isn't for some reason. And is he good enough to actually fit the bill? Or I have players as well that are wanted and I will sell. For example, Charlie Taylor is wanted, and maybe what I should do is try and entice these clubs. It's wanted, major interest from Crystal Palace and Everton. I would sell him because the previous manager has brought in Ian Matson as a left back, and he's got him in as a regular starter, so he needs to play. And he doesn't look that bad to me. He looks as if he will do a good job in the Championship. And so if he needs to play, then I'd quite happily sell Charlie Taylor for even 10 or 12 mil. And then that will give me some money to actually play with. But I don't want to transfer list him, because the minute I transfer list him, I'm going to get ridiculous offers for him, which is it's just going to not be worth it. I have other players who are wanted. Josh Brownhill is wanted. Again, I would happily get rid of him for that kind of money. He is probably one of our key players, major interest from Wolves, but they're not coming in for him. And as we go into, we're nearing the season starting, nobody's coming in for these players. Jack Cork is wanted. He's transfer value 3.5 mil. I'll happily sell him for 3.5 mil, but I can't at the moment drum up any interest, and I certainly don't want to actually transfer list them. Ashley Barnes, I've had major problems with him. He I listed him because he wanted to explore his options at the end of his contract, and then I accepted 1.5 million from West Brom. He came back and said he didn't want to go, and he'd prefer now to stay. So I've told him that to behave himself, because if we get offers for him, he's going to go. Sunderland now are a major interest, and I wonder if I just drop his price down a little bit, Sunderland will come in. The reason I want to get rid of him is to save money on the transfer budget. It's not that I'm looking for a big transfer money for him, but it's £27,500 a week, and the way he's behaving, he's going to end up in the reserves on £27,500 a week. And so it's very difficult to sell the players. I'm tied with loans because I believe that 5 is the maximum loans, and the previous manager has already got 5 players in. They're decent players. Nathan Teller is one I probably wouldn't have brought in myself. Can play as a pressing forward, but he probably wouldn't be my first choice. And so you get what you get when you take over a club, and I don't think this is going to be as easy a save as people think. Hi, Ben. Sorry about the weekend, mate. maybe next time, mate. But glad you've made it. STS, I always struggle to sell players for good money when I don't want them. It's only players that I do want. Yeah, I know. And I'm hoping that clubs will think, because I'm not transfer listing them, I'm hoping clubs will think that I want to hold on to them when I'm perfectly willing to sell them. And what I might do is wait until it gets a little bit desperate, and then I'm going to have to start dropping the prices, because I desperately need a good DLP, and I desperately need a pressing forward who's going to score me lots of goals. And I can't at the moment get any of those in. So we're going at the moment with the squad that we've got, and we're gonna go quickly through the next. We have 2 friendlies left to go, and then I think the season is due to start after that. So we'll go quickly through the friendlies. Lincoln we should be winning, and then Berwick should be winning. I've arranged that one just so that the reserves can get a run out and get their fitness up. The first team I'm pretty much decided on, with Muric in goal, Roberts, Howard, Bellis and Bayer. These 2 centre-backs are both on loan, and they're very, very good players. And so I trust my defence with Taylor in there as well, and Roberts. I trust this defence to be very reliable, and that's why I think I can afford to allow Bastian, who's currently playing at DLP, to just roam around a little bit, enjoy himself and try and dictate what's happening in the game. Cullen will play as the box-to-box, and then Josh Brownhill will play as a winger here on support. And this is also another area of concern, is the attacking midfield, the shadow striker, and that's why I desperately need to get some money in through the door. And then Vitinho is a very good player. He can play here, he can play at left back, he can play here, he can play over here. He's a very, very good, versatile player. I like the Vitinho's attributes. He looks like a decent enough player, if I can actually click the right button. And good dribbling. Crossing isn't the best I've ever seen, but nice passing. He's got really good work rate. He is fairly pacey, and so I think that he's quite composed. I think he'll do a nice job, this Vitinho, who's just come in under the previous manager as well. So I don't know. It's an old team that I need to refresh a little bit, and it's, for me, doesn't look like an automatic promotion team, and I'm hoping this asymmetric system will serve them well. And I had no choice but to go with this short passing game. And interestingly, that we will be holding our shape at the beginning. I may take this off for easier games, but at the beginning, while they're learning this now, I want them to hold their shape. I want everything to be slowed down. I don't want people bombing off thinking, yeah, let's go and counterattack here. Just hold your shape, keep the ball, and then we'll be okay. And if you do that and you're patient, then we can actually start working the ball patiently into the box, and then finishing might not be such a dramatic problem as it is at the moment. That's the theory. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll tweak it as we go through the season. Yeah, Newcastle's time will come, Ben. They're actually a really good, they're really good side, Newcastle, at the moment. I was actually surprised that Manchester United beat them, and if Newcastle had taken their chances, it might have been a different story. But yeah, your time will come, Ben. Don't worry about it. You're on the way. I was a bit worried waiting for your next comment, being a Manchester United supporter myself, but I'll try not to make too much of it. Okay, so in terms of training is a very, very important aspect for me. And as we go into the season, then what I do is, in terms of my training, I've got a system that we work to. And we will, in this case, let's bring up the schedule so we can have a look at it there. So here on Monday and Tuesday is where they will actually do their work. And most of it, as you can see, is things that I want them to get better at. So I want them to be better at possession. I want them to be focusing on attacking patient attacking football. So we're going to train that for a while they're learning the tactic. Train it. And also we're going to be training the transition presses, and both in with and without the ball. So and then set pieces. Every Wednesday they will do set pieces, and we do a bit of team bonding, like a nice bit of male bonding on a Wednesday evening. Thursday is not a rest day. That is, I'll usually get my opposition team report around Tuesday or Wednesday, and then we'll fill in Thursday as we see any weaknesses or strengths that the opposition have. We'll work on that on Thursday. We're now into preparation for the match at the weekend. And then it's very simple: Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Tactics, match preview, and then recovery and review on a Sunday. So basically the real training is done here. And then we do set pieces. And then once we get good at set pieces, we might introduce more physical stuff. This Burnley team doesn't need a great deal of physical stuff at the moment. They are very, very quick. They don't need quickness training. And in terms of general stamina, they don't need endurance training. They do need to train a little bit in terms of their strength. And we will, once they get good at set pieces, we'll start introducing some strength training, so that we build up their strength. They can get in the gym for one of these sessions on a Wednesday. But at the moment, I just want them to focus on the style of play that we're actually going to play. So that's how I set the training up. And then when there's 2 games in a week, then we'll just adapt that. There'll be very little training going on if there's 2 games in a week anyway. So we're just going to crack on. We do have a little friendly that we're going to play. We're going to try out this. It's going to be new to them. In pre-season opposition instructions, I'm just going to ask my assistant. I'm going to trust him in pre-season. I've got no particular game plan in terms of funneling them. I don't know the team that particularly well that we're playing against. So we will just do what the assistant says, and then we'll get off to the game. And hopefully it's they're not unhappy, but they're not happy. The dressing room doesn't agree with today's team sheet. And well, that's too bad. Who's the boss here? They haven't actually taken to me very well, this Burnley team. I think I've been a little bit harsh on them. and they actually don't like that very much. So I'm going to tell them, yeah, be harsh again. We're favourites, and I want you to play like that. I want to see solid defensive work, control of the midfield, and an edge in attack. And you can see they're not actually taking to me at all. It's like, come on, guys, get a grip here. This is the first team. And I'm not quite sure what I'm in. I'm in key highlights. I'm going to just go and bring this down a little bit so that I can keep an eye on what is going on for 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm just looking at, are they playing the game in the way that I want them to play the game? I have got the camera zoom. Let's bring the height down. It's too high for my liking. I just want them to see if they're just passing the ball. That's a nice pass. And Rodriguez, Burnley finishing, here we go. But that's inexcusable. He's in the box. He's 10 yards out. You've got to hit the target. You can see why I'm desperately looking for a pressing forward. And I need to keep an eye on if anybody is actually causing us problems. I wouldn't have thought that from this Lincoln team. But we need to be passing the ball around nice and slow, no panic. And here's Brownhill. Oh, Roberts bursting into the box has scored. But that goalkeeper will not be on my short list anytime soon. And it was quite interesting. I think that Roberts scored a blinder in the last episode as well. Or was it the other Lowton? One of the fullbacks actually scored a blinder in the last episode. I hope we're not going to rely on fullbacks to actually score our goals. It should be comfortable. We should be having no problem with them. Just check that nobody's causing us any problems. Not really. I need to just also keep a check on our shooting. We've only had 2 shots at the moment, but I need to make sure that we're not blasting things over the bar. Maybe if I bring up the shot map here, eventually. We do have a free kick. And the goalkeeper saves it, and it's out to safety. And we should be absolutely hammering Lincoln. But as you can see, 5 shots, 2 on target, which is not really what I was expecting from this Burnley team. And we are getting shots from inside the box, so they are kind of listening to what I'm saying. Only 1 from Bastian, but he does have a freedom. Interesting, he's the DLP, and he's up here having a shot, and that's what I want him to do. He has license to roam around, to actually get into positions that perhaps he shouldn't be. And here's Cullen. That is another example of our really poor finishing. Let's just speed that up a little bit. I actually prefer, I know there is a thing about FM creators. They have they have their speed set 1 notch above normal. I think it looks kind of unnatural, and but we'll put it, for sake of speed at the moment, to 1 notch above. Statistically, we've dominated the game. We've had 75% possession, and we've had 8 shots, only 3 on target. And from inside the box, for me, that's not acceptable. And I think we need to tell them that you're lazy, maybe. And I'm just going to say, get out there and show me why you want to be in this team. Because things are not right. Get out there and give me a reason. And if we... I think if we had a good striker, we would be like really romping away with this 2 or 3-0 up by now, but we don't. And for a first team, this is not looking very good. And I don't think this Burnley team is going to just romp into second place or even better. There's a lot of work to do, and this is not going to be easy. And Lincoln are pressing. I think that's just FM evening things up a bit. As I think we'll probably go on to score 2 or more goals after this. It is a bit worrying that defensively also, I trust this defence. They are a very good defence, but defensively we don't look all that solid either, and haven't during pre-season. I probably need to shout at them. I'm going to berate them. This is not good enough. Lincoln should not be in this game. Reagan Poole probably needs closing down. So we'll just go to the opposition instructions, and we're just going to close him down. Does he have a weaker foot? Yeah, we'll put him on his left foot. We'll just shut him up for a little bit. He should not be doing this. And we are pressing high up the pitch. We should be preventing him from doing anything. And yeah, anybody who thinks that this Burnley save is going to be easy, it's not. It's not going to be easy at all. And we're only 1-1 coming into the 60th minute against Lincoln, which for me is not good enough. Bayer is having a 6.4. Rodriguez is 6.4. I really think it's time to get some of these players off the pitch now. So when we go into Matt Lowton can come on. It was him who scored the screamer last time, and I'll bring Maatson on. Not impressed with Charlie Taylor so far. Bayer is having a terrible game. We'll bring Long on for him. Bastion's playing quite well in that roaming DLP role. Brownhill at box to box on the wing is having a good game. And Cullen is not having a good game, so Jack Cork can come in for Cullen, play the box-to-box. The really worrying thing, Jay Rodriguez having a dreadful game. Ashley Barnes can come on. He can play perfectly well, even though he's aging, as a pressing forward. And let's bring on... No, we won't make any changes more than that at the moment. And... let's continue. Let's hope that we're actually going to solve this problem. I'm going to go more attacking, try to make the best of what we can do. When you're playing possession, you need to be playing attacking football. You have to be at least positive in your approach. You need to actually dominate the ball, and you need to be pushing forward. This is a very, very poor performance from what should be the first team for Burnley. It's an absolutely shocking performance. Bastion is now tired. And one of my problems is I don't have enough midfielders. So I don't know who I'm going to bring on for him. Maybe what I'll have to do is bring Brownhill over into the box-to-box. And then we'll give Teller a run out. And we'll give Zahuri a run out. I have a problem of attacking midfield centre. But he's not too tired, so we'll just leave him play on. And it's not looking very good at all. I thought I'd changed Bastion. Did I change Bastion then? Let's go and have a look again. No, I didn't, and that's one of the problems that I have. Not enough midfielders, so we'll just let that run. There was almost a highlight there, 84, 85 minutes. This is pretty poor. Given that we have, in terms of possession, we've had 76% of the possession, 13 shots, and 4 only on target. Finishing is a big problem. Okay, Ben. I'll catch you in the comments at some point, mate. Thanks for popping along. Sleep well, mate. And that is Burnley at the moment. They are absolutely dreadful. Statistically, totally in charge of the game, and yet we cannot put our chances away. You should have won that match. And they really have to get used to me shouting at them. because I'm not too happy about that performance at all. And I don't know, I don't feel very optimistic about just simply taking this Burnley team into into the second place and getting automatic promotion. I think the board are they are very optimistic given the fact that there's not much money to play with. Anybody got any suggestions about what I can do about moving players on? Hey Raskafar, nice to see you again. Good to see you, mate. I really don't know. Egan Riley, do I want to let him go? Yeah, he's young kid. He could do with going out on loan. Is it worth my while? Not really. So we'll reject that one. 10% of his wages? Nah. And the bonuses, I will just keep it at normal, especially when I'm coming to a new club. I don't really want to waste the money. Berwick Rangers, nothing much known about them. Goalkeeper's pretty poor, and they have a poor right back. That's what that's telling me. But we just need to, I think, continue practicing what we're doing. I need to just check the training and make sure that we're doing the right things here. Yeah, I can't see. What I might try against Berwick is to stop Bastian or the deep line playmaker, to stop him roaming around. See how that affects things. Maybe we got caught out by Lincoln because he was absent without leave. Why did I choose Burnley? Because I think the reasoning is that they should get promoted, and therefore I think I should probably get them promoted. And I thought that until I got here. And a lot of beginners or people who are inexperienced do have a lot of problems transitioning between the Championship and the Premier League. And that's the same all over Europe. People have a lot of problems transitioning between the one league down and the main league in that country. And I thought maybe it would be good once we'd done a season to focus on how do we actually transition this? What do we need to do in order to help that team survive in the Premier League? And with any team, it should be a struggle. The secret to this game, of course, is to buy better players and to make the 30 million or so that you get when you're promoted actually go a long way. And that's probably one of the things that people are afraid to do, is to actually get rid of players and to bring in fresh young players and to actually use their debit and credit cards to actually bring players in. Because if you've got £33 million to spend, in effect, you've got £66 million or more once you've sold a couple of players. You might end up with 80, 85, even £100 million to spend once you've got rid of a couple of players, and then when you're not going to pay everything up front, so you can totally rebuild the team. You're then going to have this period of bedding in, and I would always play a lot of friendlies during that pre-season, that transition pre-season, so that they are training how you want them to play, and they get familiar with it over pre-season. They won't be perfectly right, but they've got a better chance of actually being in a good condition when the season starts. So helping people who are less experienced to understand the transition between Championship and Premier League was the reason that I chose Burnley, thinking I should easily get promoted here. And I've suddenly changed my tune. I'll be very lucky to reach the playoffs, I think, with the team we have at the moment. I think we press on. Let's get this second friendly out of the way. He's not in my plans at all, that boy. The club seem to like him, but I don't think he's that good a player. He's going to leave to go to FC Edinburgh. Yeah, I agree to that. And Mark Helm has agreed to go to Cardiff. Young boys going out, getting some experience and freeing up a few £100 for me on the wage bill. Question. Mark Helm was sold in the last year of his contract with some time to spare. Can you state why the move was made? Yep, because I think he's rubbish. Sometimes in sport you have to make choices, and we made that choice. And interestingly, do you do things like that, or just ignore the reporters? I got sacked from Fleetwood. I lost the first 10 Prem games. That can happen. And being prepared and making the right signings in the transfer window is in pre-season is very, very important. I did not say that. I did not say that. I said sometimes you have to make choices. And the newspapers have said the finances of the Helm deal was hard to ignore. I did not say that at all. But there you go. That's the press for you. And I don't know what to say about the press. They're a strange bunch of people. So we're going to go into this game. This is a chance for the reserves now to... Oh, we have another scout. This boy is a nice, decent scout. He's not the best in the world, but he's a decent scout, and I like his adaptability. And I think he could go out somewhere and scout. We desperately need somebody to find players, and he might have a database. So I'm going to have to get rid of one of those two that I've identified. He can go. He's got no value to me at all, Lee Jones, so he can go without a shadow of a doubt. And so we'll get rid of him to bring in Giuseppe Bifelco as a scout. And then before we move on, we need to send him somewhere. Country near Italy. Where is a country near Italy? That's my geography for you. I think I've got a scout coming in who's brilliant at Italy. So I don't want to send two scouts to Italy. You think about transfers, that's where I'll find it. Director of football. Oh, no, I don't. So maybe he can just go to Italy. And Giuseppe, let's give him an assignment, create a focus. Well, I want him to look for what I want. And I want them to be 3-star players, potential 3.5, maybe even just reach their potential, minimum reach their potential. And up to 25 areas, I want him to go to Italy. Let's get some scouts out there doing some work. And yep, that will do. Standard, because I don't have enough scouts to do a top priority one. And who was it? It was Giuseppe. He can go to Italy. And we will look for, we know what we're looking for. We're looking for a DM here. We're looking for a striker. And then if I sell Charlie Taylor, I might be looking for a left back, and I might be looking for a midfield centre. Let's get him out there. Let's get him looking for players and see what he comes out with. And so we have a number of scouts out. We've got scouts in Scandinavia and Italy, and I'm hoping that we can get a scout in soon that's familiar with this western part of Europe. We only have enough budget to scout Europe at the moment, but that's got to be enough. Who is Alan Roche? What's he coming in as? He's coming in also as a scout. Oh, yeah, I remember this. And he can then go to France and Belgium and Spain and have a look what's on offer in France and Belgium and Spain. So that will be plenty of scouting coverage. Serbia, yeah, that's an interesting one. Maybe he can go to Serbia as well. Let's send him to Serbia. If it's ongoing, he can go to Serbia as well. Let's go to, where is it? Scouting assignments. He's not listed. He's not on his assignment yet. So we'll have to wait on that one. So Callum Hagney has agreed to be a sports scientist. We've got a sports scientist in now. Roche is not going to get a work permit until the 5th of August, so he can't even go out and start scouting now. But in terms of the staff, we've done a lot of work. We do have the best coaching team in the league now. We've really improved the recruitment team. If you remember when we started, it was way down here. And we're starting to build a medical team, but we're still not good enough. I'm still waiting for physios to replace these boys I've got here. I think I've got a physio here who doesn't know anything about physio, not him. Got a physio here who's got physiotherapy of 8. So no wonder we are lacking in the physiotherapy medical department. And we have completed the appointment as a sports scientist. Does anybody know what a sports scientist does? Hi Max, how are you doing? What does a sports scientist do? I don't know. I should Google it and find out. We are getting very close to the season starting. Nobody's actually training badly, which is a good sign, which might mean that they're average, and I'm actually starting to get a strong influence over a number of the players. That's a good sign. The club atmosphere, players are happy, but they're not blending well together, and maybe we need to be thinking a little bit about doing a little bit more team bonding. We have a session here, and we have been doing regular team bonding, so they should be hopefully soon beginning to gel together. This is why I kind of predicted when I advertised the live stream tonight. I did say I think we can expect a very slow start to this season. It's not going to be out of the blocks winning matches one after the other. We may have to wait until this team gels together. Shadow Striker is an issue because he wants him to play again. I'm going to just say, yeah, let's use the suggested squad, and then we will go to our tactics board and maybe thinking that Teller can play as the Shadow Striker, and then who is lacking fitness on the wing? Yeah, maybe Churlinov can play here, and Aldago can come in here. Possibly that's the solution. And then that will give this boy, whoever he was, a rest, because he's actually been playing a huge amount of games. Actually, was it him? No, because he can't play as... Who was that who was playing as the Shadow Striker? But also Rodriguez can play as a Shadow Striker, so might be able to use him and Ashley Barnes from time to time. I'm hoping though that Barnes will be out of the door soon, although doesn't seem to be causing a problem. Didn't really have a slow start with Preston SDS. Preston really went out of the blocks like a rocket. It was like totally shocked me. We had that little period where we drew and lost to Sunderland and drew at Blackpool, and that was when I switched the tactic, and wow, they went off out of the blocks, Preston. And who's Akena? He's a physio, so hopefully he'll come in and help bolster the physio team, and we'll look a little bit better in terms of our medical side of things. Berwick Rangers, I don't even know what league they are in. They are just a 1.5 star. They are in the Lowland League. If we can't win this one, we are in really serious problems. And go to the tactics. I really do want him to be dictating play, and I think we are going to start on attacking. We really need to be winning this game, and just maybe it's going to take this team a long time before we actually get settled in. And we might find that we're in the bottom half of the table after 5 or 6 games. But hopefully then the quality of the players, and the media do think we have quality players, then I hope the quality of the players will come to the fore when they start playing together. Jack Cork, now do I want to make him captain? Because it's possible he might be out of the door. We are lacking in terms of leadership. You can see that their numbers in terms of leadership is poor. Both of these, Ashley Westwood, 32 years old, Jack Cork, 33. I think that Ashley Westwood is more likely to be playing regularly than Jack Cork. But I'm not going to interfere with the way things are at the moment. If one of them is sold, we'll just deal with the captaincy issue at that point. The players are obviously happy with them being captain, so we'll go along with that. I really don't want to interfere with that until one of them is sold, and then I can actually start to move in my own choice. And yeah, he can go on loan, not a problem. Just check the finances after we go through this. All those loans, we've now brought the wage budget down to 534. We've still only got £16,000 in wages to spend, 4 million transfer budget. It's not a lot of money. Really nothing I can do with that kind of cash. Cherlanoff and Teller not quite fit. We need to get you fit. We need to go out and win this football match. And again, we'll ask the assistant to do the opposition instructions. We should just go and play this game now. Let's hope that we can actually get something out of this. Again, mixed reaction. Again, they don't agree with my team sheet, and that's quite interesting. It's not my team sheet. It's the assistant manager's team sheet. We're favourites here. Go out there, show me what you've got. There's the reserve team. So go out there, show me what you've got. Tell me why I should pick you at the beginning of the season. Everybody's looking a bit complacent out there. So it's not a good sign to begin with. And we really should be beating these people by 1,000,000 to 1. We're not creating too much in the first 5 minutes. We've had all the chances though, and they need to be patient getting the ball in the box. That is better. That is much better. Work the ball into the box, and then we will score goals. And they need to learn that if they do as I tell them to do, they will score goals. And that's a lovely move. And again, the goalkeeper, he will not be on my short list anytime soon. But we're looking a bit more comfortable in this game than we did in the last game. Again, we've had 72% possession. I think it was Johan Cruyff who said, the other team, if you have got the ball, the other team cannot score. And so for 72% of the games, we have had the ball. 69% now, the other team. And they just cannot score while we've got the ball. It's at 72%. The problem that we have, again, is 10 shots, only 3 on target. This is a worry. I don't know how to solve this without bringing in a new striker. We also have had a lot of shots from outside the box, and Harwood Bellis has made it 2-0. But if we have a look at this again, set pieces I'm going to rely on, and if you train your boys in set pieces, you will become good at them. It's not about how you set up the tactic. That's nothing to do with it. The shot map is showing that how many shots have we had? 11 attempts, 8 of which have been in the box. They are working the ball into the box. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. Brownhill has had a shot outside, 2 shots outside. So I think maybe I need to have a quiet word in Brownhill's ear. And he is already on shoot less often. So I do need to tell him to ease off the tackles. Maybe take that off him. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves a man down. So I don't understand, unless it's just that they are not playing together as a team yet. And that's why things are being reflected this way. But our finishing is a huge issue. And I don't know how to address that. I've tried to address it. But again, there's another shot outside the box. This time, Jack Cork. So another one off target. And another one from outside the box. What I'm going to do is, if you're going to do that, we're going to slow the pace down. I'm going to get you to really slow it down. And yeah, we'll really, really slow it down now. And hopefully you will get to understand that we've got to be patient. Now there was a shot inside the box, which is much better. And as we come up to half-time, we are just 2-0 in front against this Berwick team. 16 shots, 5 on target. Everything else is working exactly as I want it to. And the problem is that we can't score. This is why we go through pre-season. And let's get out there, work our fitness, work the system. And if you trust the system, then it will pay off. And we just have to do that. They have to learn to trust what I'm actually telling them, which they don't, I think, at the moment. And there's another one. And that's what happens when you work it into the box, boys. That is what will happen. And they need to get used to this. So now Burnley 3, Berwick 0. And that's what I want to see. Those are the highlights I want to see. Working it into the box. Maybe the secret. I've just found the secret. Let's really slow it down with them. Let's give them no option. We can see their centre-back is having a shocker. So maybe also what I want to do is focus play down the middle. Let's really give him a hard time. And let's see if we can't score a few more goals. We're still fairly fit. We're still looking very fit. Harwood Bellis perhaps needs a rest now. So let's bring him off. Bring on, let's bring on Kevin Long. He can come on. Howard Bellis needs to rest. And McNally possibly can come on for Bayer. Bayer is a very, very good player. I wish he was actually a Burnley player, but he's not. I don't know why it does that. Okay, it's actually... Let's make some changes. Luke McNally can stay on. He needs match practice. Who can we take off? Jack Cork probably needs to come off. But I don't want to risk Josh Cullen. Let's bring Cullen on for Brownhill. Why not? And Bastian possibly needs more practice. Rodriguez, let's try you up front. And then we were putting Ashley Barnes. Can he play? Kind of. Rodriguez might be better. Yeah, let's put Rodriguez in as the shadow striker. Ashley Barnes up front. And Zauri can come in on the wing. Matt Loughton can come on as fullback. And let's play Teller as the wing here. I can't think of anything else I need to do at this point in time. Matson needs the game time. That'll do. And let's see this game out. Let's win this football match. I don't think Berwick have actually done anything. Have they? One key pass in the whole game. Hardly anything that they've had to offer. And we are doing fairly well. 3-0. I'll take that. 20 shots and only 8 on target. And this is something that is a problem. Something that's going to take some working out. And here we go. Let's have another one. Work it into the box. Slowly, slowly is the key to this. That's better. Put your foot on it. Look for support. Nice. And that's better. Put your foot on it, pass it around, into the box. Good save. But again, we should have done better. The pass wasn't that great, but we should have done better. Winning the ball at the back, that's what I want to see. But fortunately, they've nicked the ball. They are in. They are having a chance, but it's tipped over the bar. And maybe should come off attacking now. Just go to a more positive mentality. I don't want to encourage them too much. Header out, it comes back to the corner taker, but he's surprisingly let it go out of play. And it remains 3-0. I'm not thrilled, but I'm feeling better than I was against Lincoln. We've created lots of chances. We're at 40% on target. I'd like to get that over 50%, and then we'll be playing proper football. We do have a free kick. Let's see how good our set-piece training is being. And we have scored. And Cullen has made it 4-0. And it's starting to look a little bit more reasonable now. So, possession-wise, 78% possession. We are totally dominating the game in all respects. But this, I would hope, would be more like 6 or 7. Not 4. And as we come up to 4 time, that is going to be the score. Burnley 4, Berwick 0. And now we will have to prepare. Shall I tell them it was a good performance? I'm going to say I'm happy with the result. I am happy with the result. And to a degree, the way that they played, it was better than they were against... who did we play last? It was better than we were against Lincoln. Pre-season, I think it's plain to see. We had a very, very good win against Club Bruges. They are a very, very good team. They are a better team than we are. And we beat them by 2-1. But I can see that apart from rare instances, scoring goals is going to be a problem. So we are going to begin at the end of this week. We are going to be playing our first game of the season against Huddersfield. And the first thing I need to do is to check that the training is still as I left it. And so, yeah, we'll have recovery, a match review, and we will look at resistance. Do I want them in the gym at this stage? Yeah, why not? They do need to work on strength, so we'll have them in the gym. We'll work on the transition again, although there's nothing wrong with their press. We'll work on set pieces, of course, and then we will play the game on Friday. I think here, what have we got here? Yeah, not too unhappy with that. Just get them playing together, and then we'll focus on scoring goals. That's hopefully what we'll do. Think that was a good result for pre-season, do you think, STS, against a team like Berwick, who are in the Lowlands League in Scotland? I think it's a pretty poor result. I'd be expecting 10 or 11-0 for a game like that. And it's just testament to how poor Burnley are finishing-wise. And I don't know at this point in time how I'm going to solve that. I'll have to find a way, but we need to go into the first game of the season. And I need to pick the team quite wisely. And so I need to go into, have a look at what happened in that game. In terms of players who played well, everybody's got a green light, but I'm not sure they actually played well. Cullen, not bad, scored the free kick. Need to have a look at his free kick taken is only 11, and you can see that's proof that if you actually train set pieces, doesn't matter if his free kick taking's only 11. Train them and they'll score. He's got adequate technique, and so that will get better. It won't be reflected in his attribute. It'll just be reflected on the pitch. That's differing standards. Yeah. To be honest with you, if I'm playing a team that poor, I would expect to be absolutely annihilating them, STS. Really, they're a 1.5 star reputation. We are 3. And their performance, as you can see, is absolutely chronic. I mean, this guy had a dreadful game. And at the back, they were very poor. Only the right back played had any sort of a decent game. So 4-0, no, I'm expecting more than that. My assistant is saying we should be happy with the result. We outplayed this opposition and the scoreline reflects it. Nah, I'm not too happy. He might be happy. I'm looking at this, and this is all part of my match review, and I'm looking at all this out here. And Brownhill, Teller, McNally, who's that? Cork, Haldazzo, Josh Cullen, and even these here, Teller and Bayer. What's Bayer taking a shot from there? Oh, he was playing at fullback, wasn't he? And that's interesting that he's got himself in there on 2 occasions to be able to shoot, and that's like using the inverted, using the underlap. So having the winger on here hold it up and feeding the ball inside. And the reason why I would do that is because even for crossing, if you're using the underlap, they will cross the ball from nearer to this penalty box line rather than from out here. And if they're crossing low from here, it's more likely to hit a target in here somewhere. So the underlap is quite a useful tool on one side of the pitch, sometimes on both. So in terms of shots, I'm not very impressed at all. Although there were 13 shots on target. 13 shots from inside the box. It's these out here that I need to get a hold of. Berwick never actually threatened us. And our average possession, and this is interesting because this is kind of where the DLP will be drifting around. And that's good. For me, that shows that the team are looking for him, that he will dominate the game if they look for him, and he'll pass over the top, he'll do through balls. He does also have a license to roam, and he will get about over here and he'll get about up here. And it's something that I found in the other save that actually works, and it is good to see all this activity around here because they are looking for him, and that's good. Most of our play focused down both wings. Probably got a little bit here when I went focus play through the middle when that central defender was having a nightmare. And Harwood Bellis, good game. He's a very, very good player, Harwood Bellis. And Jay Rodriguez, cross completion 0%. Absolutely shocking. So let's have a quick look. Let's look at this in terms of, you can see this is where my DLP lives. When we're attacking, this is where he's going to be. And it clearly shows that that's where the game was focused. And so I'm not unhappy about that. Everything in the game plan is working, except that we can't score. And in terms of pass combinations, this is looking very, very nice. Down the right-hand side, this is looking almost perfect. Almost perfect. It's down this left-hand side that we might be having a little bit of problem. And Brownhill, maybe he's a bit too far forward. Maybe if we can bring him back here a little bit, then he'll get more involved in the game. They probably are having trouble finding him if he's so far forward. And Haldazzo, he linked up with Brownhill, but then of course you can see he's much closer to him. And the forward is totally isolated by the look of it. Jack Cork playing as the DLP. He's just like totally controlling everything there. Absolutely. Everything is going on around him. And that's what I want it to be. I just need this to look a little bit tighter. So I need to look at how we are playing this box to box midfielder. And if we go to the tactic now, the box to box, what is his instructions? As you see, I'm telling him not to wander too far. And I'm just wondering, would it make a difference if I changed him to a ball winner? Would he then kind of like spend a little bit more time in here? I don't know. What do you guys think? If I played him as a ball-winning midfielder, which he's very good at. In terms of his tackling, 13 tackling, good work rate, very aggressive, not too aggressive, has good composure, good decisions. So concentration's very good. So he would be a very good ball-winning midfielder. And if I actually played a ball-winning midfielder there, do you think that he would hang around here a little bit more rather than going forward to the edge of the box so much? I think it might be worth a try. I might actually do that. So he's more solid here in the center of the middle, and this guy then can just go and do his stuff. And can I tell him to hold his position? Yeah. Let's tell him to hold his position in this area, and then the DLP can actually work around him because he has a license to go wherever he wants. I think that might be a bit more effective, and then that might help the left-hand side of the pitch to get more involved in the game, because this side of the pitch to me was looking absolutely perfect, and Cork was absolutely dominating things. Centre mid on support. I think that might be, yeah, could be. Centre mid on support. He's slightly higher up, but if I tell him to hold his instruction, though, he doesn't like it. He wants to get into the it's the player, isn't it? It's Brownhill is my issue there, because if I'd played Cork there, then he doesn't have. Brownhill has this trait where he likes to get into the opposition penalty area, and that's why we were seeing him on the pass combinations map so high up the pitch, because he's trying to get into the penalty area, and he's not disciplined enough to actually not do it. Cork, on the other hand, doesn't have issues at DLP, and he can play well as a DLP. He's a very good DLP. He's better as a ball winner, but he can play very adequately as a DLP. I do want a DLP, a decent DLP in here, and the answer then might be to play Brownhill as the DLP. He's a very, very good DLP, and Cork playing more as a box to box, or maybe now a ball winner on support, and he's less likely to set off wandering up and down, and that's, I think, an area of concern for us. So if we can get him to just sit there a little bit more, hopefully that'll work. I need to pick the first team now, and then have an argument with my assistant when he decides to advise me. So Muric will be in goal. Callum Roberts, I think, will be the number one fullback on the right hand side, and Charlie Taylor the number one fullback on the left. And the centre backs, very easy. Bayer will be one, and Harwood Bellis the other. Brownhill, I think I'll keep him as the DLP, and I'll probably play Cullen as the ball winner. Can he play as a ball winner? He's more of a box to box. So hopefully he'll hold his position. Can I ask him to hold his position? I can't. As a box to box, he's going to roam. So maybe if I let him roam, I don't know. What do you think, guys? He is a decent enough ball-winning midfielder, central midfield on support. Can play as that. Wants to be a box-to-box. Central mid on support. He's got the attributes to do that job, central mid on support. Yeah, let's play him. Good call. Central midfielder on support. Definitely worth a think. Some Hannes. Welcome, Hannes. Play him as a ball winner. Tough choices. If I want a ball winner in there, probably going to have to play Jack Cork. He's a very, very good ball winner. And he's less likely to go roaming about. I can ask him to hold his position if necessary. He's definitely being told in his pre-scripted instructions to stay where he is, not to go off marauding up the pitch. One of the things that I have to look at, I think, is this enough to tell them to dribble less, or do I need to be more specific in terms of the players? Because if we're going to play this short passing game, then we can't have them dribbling. And I think they actually played better when we really shut down the game. And this is another option. Maybe they should be more disciplined because they are not familiar with the game plan. And I don't want them taking any risks whatsoever. None of them. I want it very patient. With a BBM, you'll be on the edge of the box sometimes. Yeah, and I think that's why we were finding this when we looked at the past combinations map and there was a lack of any sort of combinations. The BBM was up here. His positioning, average position, was up here rather than here in the center of the pitch. Hopefully we'll see after the next game that the BMW didn't move so far and we might have solved the problem. This is now the problem in terms of playing up front. And I think we have to play Rodriguez, despite the fact that his form is absolutely shocking. Barnes is playing marginally better. Maybe we need to put Barnes in there, as he's playing marginally better. And maybe start Rodriguez as the shadow striker. This is tough. And then we need to find who's going to be our left winger. And I think, given form, that's how we're going to line up. Doesn't look that great to me, but I'm really stuck for choice here. Let's go to this meeting. I would recommend individual final third training for Bastian. Composure and decisions. Yeah, we'll do that. Because as a DLP, he's going to need composure and decisions to run the game as I want him to. Agility and balance. Yeah, we'll do that. We should have Josh Brownhill taking corners, as he seems to be one of our better choices. Let's have a look what he is. Corners 14. Why isn't he taking corners? Okay, so we'll do that after the meeting. Matt Lowton ending his... because they are no longer weaknesses in his game. I don't care if it's no longer a weakness. I want them to be strengths. So if he's improved and they are now not weaknesses, we'll keep him going doing what he's doing because I want them to develop into strengths. So no, that's not a good piece of advice. And Jack Cork isn't benefiting. Now that might be a good piece of advice. He's old. He's not going to get stronger. So yeah, let's end his strength training. But this one where it says they are no longer weaknesses, it means he's improved. So I want him to keep improving and I want them to be strengths in his game eventually. We need to end Jay Rodriguez's individual ball control. He's also old. He's not really going to develop much, so we could stop that as well. Give him a little bit of energy back. I feel Vitinho's game would improve. He's encouraged to stick to the right side of the pitch No, I don't like that trait at all. And I feel that Murich's game, avoid the use of his weaker foot, makes no difference because we only have him rolling the ball out anyway. And direct free kick takers. We do have some tasty free kick takers. So I do need to look at those after the meeting. I don't want to mess about with the tactic in there. It's pointless. But we do want to make sure the best free kick takers are on the case. Yeah, we will do that after this meeting is done. And yeah, okay. I don't have a problem with him advising me about coaches in training because I don't actually get to see that and I forget to have a look at it. So he will usually do the right thing. Connor Roberts should be taking throw-ins. Nope. Our youth facilities are the envy of our rivals and we ought to focus. I have had a look in the development centre and there is absolutely nothing there. It's absolutely nothing in the development centre. Callum West has tremendous potential and maybe we should tie him down to a professional contract. I don't think that is tremendous potential, but we'll give him another contract if that's what's needed. And oh, your very personable nature. At last we seem to be getting through to some of the players and we're getting a little bit more stronger support. So why don't you listen to me, guys? We should send Vitinho. Yes, of course, it should have been done a long time ago. And yeah, we'll send him on a language course that should have been done when he arrived. And Vitinho has been developing really well. And maybe Vitinho might be the answer at left wing. Scott Twine. I like this guy. But unfortunately, he has a hip injury and he's not going to be back until after Christmas. And I like the look of this guy, Scott Twine, especially his free kick taking of 17. And he's got very decent attributes. And I think my shadow striker problem is over once he comes back. But we have a long wait for him to come back. I like that guy, Scott Twine. He looks good to me. Especially in terms of championship level, looks very much the business. Yeah, I'd love to play Scott Twine if he didn't have a hip injury, Hannes. He looks good to me. He looks like he's a very, very good player. FM has a habit of doing that to you. When you pick up a team, they're going to have 3 injuries to key players. And I have 3 key players who are all long-term injured. It's just FM's way of making it a little bit harder. I wish they would take care of all this stuff. We'll just have a look at those after the meeting. Sean Nicholson, under 21's coach. He doesn't look that good to me. None of them look really that good to me. Oh dear, oh dear. Shane Nicholson. Let's give him a contract. Bless him. We don't want him out of work. We'll take that off. I don't want to. He's accepted that. He's not that great that I want to be chasing after him. Martin Wilkinson, yep, send him on a coaching course. And hiring Wayne Belston. No, I'll deal with scouts. Performance analysts, I'll deal with all that. You don't need to worry yourself about that. I will deal with those things. Follow-up actions. We do have to go in and look at the set piece takers. And since he advised me, I'm just going to let him decide. He wanted players to be doing these things, so I'm going to let him decide. And I think what he had decided looked perfectly good to me. We'll let my assistant deal with all that. I'm not interested. If we train people enough, they will get good at it. And if I go into my corners routine, I'm just using an old FM22 tactic. I don't even go in there. I have no idea what's going on in there. These people around here, for me, it's totally irrelevant. It doesn't really matter who they are. Because these two are the only relevant people. And I can't see that this doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It never has. And it's, again, where we have near post on the left and we have far post on the right. All that you need is your two central defenders where the ball is being aimed. And if you were aiming it for the middle, then put your big central defenders in the middle. And that's all you actually need. I don't know why my DL is attacking the ball from there. I mean, let's put the striker doing that. But I still think all these people are irrelevant in what terms of what is going on. What's really important is that you train them, and that's what counts. And so I think we've set all that up, have we? I know we have to offer this guy a professional contract, future prospect, take that out. And finalize the promises. 1.8k a week. Need to knock that down. Who do you think you are, Sunshine? Top division, no chance. Yearly wage rise, no chance. We'll go along with that, see how he likes that. What's he want? 1.9. Let's give him 1.6. And he's happier with that. Sometimes these youngsters don't know what to ask for. Staffing assistant managers for the under 18. 13 working with youngsters. It doesn't bode well. 8 working with youngsters. This looks more like someone I'd be more interested in judging player. Potential 16 and working with youngsters. 16. He's got also 14 and he's got some tactical knowledge. He looks like your man. And he wants too much money. So I have to find a way. Let's give him 3 years. Let's see if he goes for that first. He's gone for it. Okay. And top division rise, 30% increase. I'll go with that. Somebody, hey STS, I will be playing one more game, mate, and then I will be leaving the stream too. But if you have to go, if you got an early morning, mate, good to see you in the stream and really happy to have you here. Great to see you, mate, and stay well. And I'll see you in the comments in the next video. Of course, the next video will be, I think, the playoffs is the next video with Preston. Good to see you, STS. And then we need to go and play this football match now, having done all that housekeeping. And hopefully we'll win our first game of the season. I don't feel very optimistic. This boy would be an awesome signing, Christian Bielik, deep line playmaker. This boy is what I'm looking for. Can sit in the hole and spray passes around. He's got all the attributes as a presser, and he just looks the business to me. He's good work rate, brilliant technique, and I think I would love to be able to sign him. And if we look at his, could I afford it? I have 4 million. I could pay 2 mil up front. Let's go and make a bid for him. Let's make an offer for Bielik. Let's initially go with the 475 that they want. His wage is a bit high. Now they want 3.5 million up front. Let's bring this down to 2 million up front. 2 payments of, let's bump that up 3.4. Percentage profit from the next sale, let's give them 30%. And let's drop this down. What do I want to do? Maybe we drop that down to 2.8 mil. So 4.8 mil, I think that's a reasonable offer now. I could even bump that up. In terms of his value, now we'll try that. So we'll suggest that, and they've gone for it. And I hope, as we're only paying 2 million up front, that will mean that we could afford his wages. He is a very, very good player, and I would be happy to have him sitting here in the hole spraying passes about. I think that he would be a very, very good signing. So hopefully we've made our first signing. We need to have a look at our training because in terms of Huddersfield, we don't have space to do any training as such, but we need to have a look at what their strengths are. They're not a very good team by the look of it. Jonathan Hogg is good quality as a defensive midfielder here. He looks like he's on a defensive duty. He will sit in the hole, trying to help out his defense. And they're not good at tackling. They're good at tackling, sorry. Have a good centre-back, but they have a ton of weaknesses. And so I think we should be beating this Huddersfield team. I'll be annoyed if we don't. So in terms of my own tactic, as they are not that great, I just need to focus on what we're doing. And we just need to do what we do and keep possession of the ball, be more disciplined, and I hope maybe that we can win this football match. We're going to play this game, and who knows, we might win this football match. And so let's go further on. Good show. He's going to expect a wage of 19. Yeah, we can afford this. So let's go and have a chat with him. One, he wants to be a regular starter. He wants to play as a DLP. Yeah, I'm going to remove that because although that's where I would play him, I might want him to play somewhere else. So we'll go with that and start negotiating the contract. Once 24,000. I want him to come, so I'm going to offer him 26,000. And signing on fee, yeah, that's all fine. That's all fine. A bit worried about this top division. What is 35%? He's going to go up to 40k. Yeah, I'll agree with that. If we get promoted, I'll be quite happy to pay him 40k. So that's hopefully a done deal, and we will be having Bilic coming in to the club very shortly. So hopefully we have made our first signing, and our injury update doesn't look good. We have Ashley Westwood, very, very good player, out with a broken ankle for another 3 months. Scott Twine, desperately unhappy about him being out 3 to 4 months. And then Goodmanson, also a very good player, out for up to 3 months. It's not looking very, very good at all. Injury risk is not high. The fatigue is not high, so I think we're okay in terms of injury risk. And we're just going to go now. There's nothing else we need to worry about. We're set up in terms of our preparation. I'm not preparing for Huddersfield because they are not a great football team, and we should be beating them. And I think if we play according to the game plan, we should win. It's just all about finishing at the end of the day. And that's why I need to sell a player so that we can move. Now, he wants Jack Cork playing as the DLP, Vitinha playing on the wing. I'm thinking about that myself, to play Vitinho on this wing. He's a very good player, and I think he'd probably do a better job. I'm not quite sure. How many substitutes am I allowed? Rules. Is it 9 or 7 in the Championship? 7 substitutes in the Championship. And so I need to remove all of these boys and then set my subs up. I never leave it to the assistant to set my subs up, because they always leave one position out, and then you find that that player gets injured or tired and you can't substitute him because he's always left one position out when he sets it up. I'm happy with the team as it stands. Cork and Brownhill. Churlinoff, do I want him in there, or do I want maybe... This is tough. This is tough. Maybe I'm going to put Cullen in here and put Brownhill on the wing. That might make more sense to me. Brownhill is a better player. So let's put Brownhill in here, and Jack Cork can come in as the DLP. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. And maybe I don't want him marking tighter, but we'll go with that for now. I mean, it's going to be a slow start, this. We have a winger who can play right and left. Teller can play as a forward. We have Matson, who is a left back. We need a right back in there. Kevin Long can play as a right back, but I would prefer Kevin Long. So we have McNally, who can play as a centre back. Still missing a left back here. Charlie Taylor, who is my left back? Matson is the right back I'm missing. Loughton has to come in somewhere. He can come in for Zuri. I think now we're all set. I think that's probably the best team that I can put out. Hey Nish, how are you doing? Nice to see you, mate. Good evening. I hope you've had a great day, Nish, and hope it's going to be a good evening for you. He wants Matt Loughton to play instead of Roberts. Okay. Roberts looks like the better fit to me, but I'm going to go with my instinct rather than his. Bastian, he wants to play as a ball winner. I want him probably more as a DLP. But from now, I'm going with experience. And he wants Teller to play up front as the pressing forward. Teller. We do know that Barnes and Rodriguez are having a horrible time. Teller's form was better in his last game. Why not? Why not give him a go? Barnes is playing better than Rodriguez, but I still have this issue with Ashley Barnes. And Ashley Barnes can't play as the shadow striker. Should Bastian come in somewhere? Bastian as the DLP. He's been playing there quite a lot. Yeah, and his form is not that bad. He's actually been one of the better players. So we'll go with that. And need to keep an eye. I don't like to go to these conferences. They're a lottery as far as I'm concerned. And I just need to keep an eye on what he actually says. If we look at his, he's a very, very good assistant manager. And have a look at his information, his media style. Where am I going to find his media handling? He's volatile, plays mind games, but he is quite media friendly at times, but he can be confrontational. So it'll be interesting to see what he says in his press conference. And he's looking for Cullen to lead. So he's actually picked on one player. Josh Cullen's performances will be the key factor. And he says, I'm hoping that he lifts us to another level. We have a strong squad. Let's not forget that. And news on Ashley Barnes. Sunderland are thinking about making an offer which could be worth £1.3 million. So we need to go and have a look at Ashley Barnes. Where are you, Ashley? And if they're thinking about 1.3 million, and I want to bump that up a bit. We'll be happy. Let's make it 1.4 million. If they're interested in making a 1.3 million bid, let's start them off at 1.4 million. And for Stephen Frail has agreed to be an under-18s manager. He was the best of the bunch. Nicholson. So yeah, we just go ahead with that. Bailick moved delayed due to a work permit. I didn't check that, did I? But hopefully that will all be okay, because we'll have lost 20k if it's not. And hopefully on the 29th of July, which is tomorrow, he will become a Burnley player. I hope. Friel completes his Burnley move, and Nicholson completes the Burnley move. And it does say here, ask him to recommend a player. I've actually never been able to find where they are. It says any recommendations will be in the scouting centre. I've never actually been able to find them, which is really weird. I've spent hours looking for it. Assistant looks rather unhappy, like Roy Keane at his press conference. Yeah, he's got a personality that's really weird. Alex, mate, how are you doing? You're just in time to catch the first game of the season. And things, Alex, have not been going very well. And our striker problem, our finishing problem, is really a problem. And Pearson has firmly against director of football model. I don't know what that's got to do with me. Polite reminder that we are supposed to be promoted. Give us some cash then, and we will make sure that that happens. Do I want to be scouting the Europa League at this point? I can't afford it, but I do want to scout the Scottish Premier League. I could probably afford players from there. Let's look at striker, attacking midfield. I'm going to go both fullbacks. We might lose Charlie Taylor. And I don't think a DM if we've got Christian Bielik in there now, but I am looking for a midfield centre. So we'll just have a general look around Scotland. Bielik has been granted a work permit and he is set to sign for Burnley. Probably a bit too late to slip him in the team. I might put him on the bench. He has now become a Burnley player, and I'm really happy because he is a very, very good player. And I remember him from FM22. I had him in my Swansea save. I had him playing for Newport, and he was a very good player. So I'm happy to actually have him in the squad. And if I have a look now, just briefly at the finances, it's not looking very pretty. We need to do something about that. Although the board haven't actually taken anything off yet, which is kind of weird. Maybe they'll do it after this next screen. It's really kind of weird that they haven't taken anything off. They will do now. He's a very, very good player. The fans are happy to have signed such a good player. I need to register him in the squad and can't do it, so somebody needs to come out. It doesn't matter. We'll take one of these injured players out and then we can put him in. We'll deal with the other bits at Christmas. So we have a big squad, but it's not a great squad. And assign a squad number, auto number always. Can't be bothered to actually look at numbers. And anything else that needs dealing with, we'll ask Cork to say hello to him. Welcome him round the club. And Callum West has put pen to paper. He is has just turned professional, so cost us a bit of money for. I think he's full of himself, and maybe should be less full of himself. But we have a football match to play now, and we are going to go and play away at Huddersfield. I'm just wondering, should I come down off positive and go to balance? No, we should be beating Huddersfield, and I'm going to stick with what we're going to do. And again, I'll let the he wants me to go to cautious, so I might split the difference and go to, and yeah, we take short kicks. They shouldn't be taking any risks anyway. So we'll go to balanced because he is suggesting we go to a cautious mentality. But this is cautious for a short passing. Nah, I'm going to go to positive because it's a short passing game demands that you play in a very positive way. You have to be very positive, take the game to the opposition, and I want the DLP on a support duty, hoping that Cullen will sit around a little bit in midfield, allowing him to do his stuff and drift about. And that's the way we're going to play. We'll have a quick look at the opposition. What is this about? So we're going to take all this out. I don't think we need to be trusting the assistant anymore, and we'll go through. I generally like to turn the fullbacks onto their weaker foot. So we turn them inwards, and so both of those. That apart, anything that strikes me, yeah, they not very strong, don't have very good balance. So maybe we should be hard tackling him. He doesn't have strength or very good balance, so he could cause him a few problems. Nakayoma, again, not very strong, but we'll probably leave him alone. He doesn't have much pace, and so what I want to do is type mark him out the game, take him out of the game, and then I'm going to close down these two defensive midfielders. And what else? Nothing particularly. We're just going to close them down. Did he have a weaker foot? Yeah, nothing to write home about. And Kasumu, I don't really want to do anything much at all about him apart from close him down. I don't want them on the ball. I don't want them dictating things. And this winger, left foot possibly. Again, he's not very brave at all. Not very strong, poor tackling. Hard tackle him, turn him onto his left foot. Hard tackle him, turn him onto his left foot. And then Anjurin, what can we do about this boy? Has a bit more pace. So I don't really want to do anything with him at the moment. Again, he's not very brave, but he's quite strong and has good balance. His tackling is not great, but I think we'll just leave him alone for the moment, Anjurin, and we'll keep an eye on... he's an attacking mid, isn't he? So I will actually type mark him, take him out of the game. He has decent feet, so we don't need to do any more. Connor Mahoney, he's a definite candidate for a bit of a hard tackle, and we need to be closing him down. Doesn't have the greatest of pace, or he's not the best dribbler. We can just close him down, take him out of the game. So hard tackle him and close him down. And also I want my right fullback to be closing down, yeah, and my left fullback to press left less often, as the right winger is a little bit better. And then all that remains is Danny Ward. I think he must be getting on a bit, Danny Ward. No, he's only 31. Doesn't have any pace. He's quite strong. He's not very tall, though. Good technique. I don't know. I think we'll just type mark him. Just type mark him. And turn him onto his right foot. And that's it. We're all set. And hopefully by adding the be more disciplined, then this team will go out there and win this football match. At least that's my hope. And so, who's this? Christian Bielik does not agree with the team selection. They are a bit like that, this team, aren't they? They don't like the team selection. Bielik, maybe he's a bit distressed because he's not on the bench. So let's have a look at who's on the bench. Yeah, Bielik has been left out. That's why he's a bit upset. So he can't just come into the first team having just arrived today. So he can sit in the stands and he can sit it out today and just watch what we're trying to do. I'm going to say just go out there, play your natural game, and it will come. Stick to the plan, stick to what we've been talking about, and the result will come. I do warn you guys that I do think this is going to be a very difficult start to the season, and I'm not very optimistic we're going to be putting wins together time after time after time, as we did with Preston. Just looking at Mahoney, he is their attacking mid, isn't he? Or is he the left winger? What is he? He's the left wing. Just need to keep an eye on Mahoney. His pass completion, though, is only 50%. It's Huddersfield who've had the better of the game so far in terms of chances. But we've had 60% of the possession, and we're pretty much dominating, as we should be, playing the kind of game that we're playing. And just hopefully we're going to convert one of the chances that comes our way. It's a very, very quiet start. Nothing much happening. Huddersfield have had more chances, but I think at the moment we look like we are the better team in terms of the stats. Huddersfield are struggling now to get hold of the ball at all. And who is this? That's Burnley on the attack, but Huddersfield looking to break. That's a good tackle from Vitinho. Finds Rodriguez. Roberts bursting into the box, and that's a good save. But that's more like it, getting the ball into the box, and that's what we will do to teams if they follow this game plan. And I do know what I want to see. I want to just check the momentum. That's a chance. It's gone in, has it? Yes, it has. It's Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. And yeah, you see that you do need to play in a very positive way when you are playing this short passing game. Lovely header at the near post. Our training... Oh, what am I doing? Our training is paying off in terms of set pieces already. So train them. They will do you proud. And I don't need to see that. Whatever that is, I think it's the goal line technology. It doesn't work. And I don't need to see it. And we are currently leading. And that makes us top of the league as it stands at the moment, with only one game being played on Friday. So I'd be quite happy with that. I want to bring up here the focus of attacks. They are attacking down the right. I want to bring up here the match momentum. This is a really good tool because it tells you when the game is swinging. And at the moment, you can see it's all Burnley. And that's something I want to keep a very close eye on all the time, as well as their passing. Nobody's really actually doing anything particularly. The set piece taker, well, they actually haven't had any set pieces. So in terms of passing, 3 key passes, that's all they've had. But I do need to think very carefully about their right hand side, and I might have a look at that at half time, see what's going on down the right hand side. But at the moment we seem to be in control of the game. 70% of the possession, we're a goal ahead. Huddersfield do have a free kick, and there's a chance, and they've hit the post, and they will have chances. And in the second half, what I might do if we haven't stretched the lead, I'll just ask the DLP just to stop roaming, sit in the hole. But at the moment, I can't see that we have anything to worry about. The 80% pass completion for Huddersfield. We have 92% pass completion and 69% possession. And things are going well, but you are capable of doing better. You weren't that bad, but you can still improve. And you have the ability. Teller is very nervous. He's got a 6.5 and he's very nervous. We may need to think about possibly he needs to come off because he's feeling very nervous, bless him. But 6.5, he's not doing too badly. And I'm looking at these two here who might need closing down. And they are on the left-hand side of the pitch and maybe taking advantage of... What am I doing there? I don't want to be there. Maybe they are taking advantage of Bastian going missing at times. So I'm going to ask him as well to hold his position. Josh Cullen is now injured. Oh, marvellous. And, oh, look at that. I don't have a midfielder on the bench. Marvellous. So I'll have to bring Brownhill over here. And maybe Cherlanoff can come in here. And yeah, that's probably why I needed Bielik on the bench. And so we'll just continue with this for a little while. We're totally still dominating the game. And things are still looking good. They're really not doing anything particularly impressive. I just want to go quickly and have a look at the opposition instructions. So I'm going to have a look at what is going on with the opposition. Now this boy has come onto the pitch. Is he causing us a problem or two? So I really want to take him out. Hard tackling, right foot, and we'll close him down. In fact, we'll type mark him. Type mark him, hard tackle him, and turn him onto his right foot. He may be causing us a problem or two down the left-hand side, so we really need to take him out of the game. And hopefully now he won't do any damage to us. And in terms of, yeah, that's got him sorted out. Nothing else seems to be problematical. I'm going to make some changes. And we'll just go, who's tired? Anybody particularly tired? I think it's time for Teller to come off the pitch. We will put Ashley Barnes in here. He can come on as the attacking mid. I think that's all we're allowed. 3 substitutes in the... I don't think we're allowed anymore, are we? I wonder if we are. If I put Matt Lowton... Yeah, we are. Let's give Matt Lowton a game. And we'll go with that for now. And see how we get on with that. And at the moment, it's still Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. It's, at the moment, as it stands, a good result. We're not going to set the world on fire scoring goals. Because it is very patient build-up. It's very, very patient totally. And it's just about denying the opposition possession. Still at 70% of the possession. Nobody, I think, is causing us any particular problems. I am going to go back and play in a more balanced style now. Try and protect what we've got. And we are coming forward, though. It is Vitinha coming down the left. Nice ball over the top. Can we get on the end of it? It is come out to Cherlanoff. And that's a good tackle, but it's come back to him. Can we get it into the box? There's the underlap happening. Lovely ball to Brownhill. He's got to take a long pot shot, and it goes over the bar. There's an example. Charlie Taylor looks like he's given everything. So just close out the game now, boys. We'll take the 3 points, and that'll be a good start. Better than I was hoping for. We've got the 3 points away at Huddersfield. They're not a very good team. We weren't at our best, but it was a good result, and we'll take that. We've got off to a winning start, and that's actually all you can hope for at this point in time. And they've done very, very well. And I'm going to bring the stream to an end now, boys. I think we've been going for about 2 hours. And thank you all so much for coming along today. I hope that it's worthwhile for you. I hope if you're new to the game that you that it kind of like gives you an insight into what I do as I go through week to week. I don't think this is going to be easy at Burnley, as people think that the Burnley save is going to be easy. I think it's going to be very difficult. We have solved one problem, I think, by bringing in Bielik, and I'm expecting a lot from him. And so thanks very much, guys, for coming. I will call it a day now, and I do appreciate all your support in terms of what we're trying to achieve here at the channel. Thank you all so much for coming. Thanks, Max. Thank you, Alex, mate.